Yo, shit's the ash though. This thing was good. That'll be an interesting live.
Gang. What's up with you, my boy?
It was good.
Ain't shit, man. Motherfucking goddamn high as a kite. But what's up, nigga? I took like
I
2
was just,
grams of mushrooms. I'm in this bitch.
uh-oh.
Yeah,
I was,
man.
I was just meditating like a few minutes ago, but
Word.
yeah.
Yeah, man. So what's been good with you, though? I see everybody jumping in this motherfucker. What's up, though? You had to get
Yeah,
you some
I say it was
peanuts.
good to Patah, y'all. Like,
What up, what
you
up,
got
what up?
so much information for y'all to learn.
Yo, you know what's funny? Is, I don't know if everybody experienced this, but people who are tapped in probably experienced last night being, going into the day being a very powerful day, like people getting downloads, everything. I don't know if everybody felt this, but the energy in the universe right now is very lit, where it's like a veil. It's like the way the matrix is and the way the universe is.
Mm-hmm.
There's points where there's like glitches or open spaces where insight comes through, right? So last night and going into the day is one of those days where um some people, I know, like there's this term that the Mayans use, like they called it I think it's like the day out of town. That's what they call it. Yeah, the day out of town. And
Mm-hmm.
that was today. You know what I'm saying? Going to, like, from this morning going into the day. But a lot of insights, flashes of insights for people who are really tapped in, who really wanted to just like get these downloads, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's significant, because the way the universe set up everything is chaos, right? And so
Yeah.
synchronicity is when you're in those present moments where you see things lining up. You know what I mean? And the day was one of those days where it's just so much opportunity in that midst. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that shit been crazy. Like, so I've been tapped in all day, like just tapped in, man. You understand?
I definitely feel that like for the past like week or two, I've been feeling like I've been wanting to take more care of myself, like eating right and like exercising and
Exactly.
stuff.
Exactly. That's the way the universe works, man. Like the way this shit is set up is the sun sends light codes,
Mm-hmm.
photons, like it's light codes, right? So what it really is that, like, when you think of like religion and Christianity, motherfuckers will say like the angels, right? But it's messengers, right? It's the light codes, right? And so when people are tapped in and people are doing exactly what that is, like you say, you want to take better care of yourself, clean it up, blah blah blah. Like on the occult level, what that is this: the motherfucking time that people are in this moment and they can feel that. What that is, that's the feminine energy. That's the divine cosmic energy that's coming through, giving people flashes of insight to be able to understand that we're so connected to the universe that when we can do our part, which is better ourselves, grow, do all those things, what happens is that motherfuckers be able to start to tap in, because you divine. That's what divine is. Divining is being able to tap into the universe, tap into what chaos is. You see what I'm saying? Like that
Mm-hmm.
shit so motherfucking deep that motherfuckers don't even get it, because you got to look at the body of a human like a tuning fork, or like a conduit for electric energy, electromagnetic energy. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that shit be working. So that's why that energy is like that. That's why motherfuckers been feeling that energy. But nah, man, you know what's been good though, because a lot of people don't know how deep all the shit is. That right, what's going on right now is what motherfuckers got to be. First of all, we already in so many um retrogrades. Like we have all these planets in retrograde right now. So what that means is that when those planets are in retrograde, it's time to do shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
And see, shadow work is what motherfuckers don't really want to do. See, when motherfuckers do shadow work, that's when you pass tests, because retrogrades means that you gotta repeat a cycle. You see what I'm saying? Because everything is cyclic in this motherfucker. So when motherfuckers don't realize that you repeat shit until you pass the test, what
Mm-hmm.
end up happening is that motherfuckers gotta go through the same shit again, whether it's a different person that brings the lesson to them or if it's whatever, right? And so when you
Which
repeat
planets are in
cycles,
retrograde?
hmm?
Which planets are in retrograde right now?
So all the outer planets are in retrograde. So you have Jupiter in retrograde, right? You have Saturn in retrograde. You have all these planets in retrograde, and what that means. So Venus is not in retrograde no more. Mercury is out of retrograde, I think, at this moment. And what happens is that what the planets mean when they go retrograde is that, yeah, because you got Jupiter. Jupiter deals with value. It deals with your modality of spirituality in terms of what you value spiritually and how you value yourself and what you got faith in yourself about, right? So when it's retrograde, when Jupiter's retrograde, that means that you're going to have to learn to focus on what you value and what you can use in terms of like what you're here for. So Jupiter is also your own spiritual blessings. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Jupiter is what you came to the planet with, your own spiritual blessings. You know what I'm saying? And so whenever you are able to see what you value and what you got to offer, you know what I'm saying, then you go and take that to the next level. Because what happens a lot of times when Jupiter is in retrograde, you cannot value yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or you can see where you don't value yourself. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of the same way when you think about Saturn. Saturn in retrograde is the same thing. When Saturn is in retrograde, like it is now, that's where you have to understand what boundaries you need to set, or where you need to grow up at, or mature at, or what you need to establish discipline in. You see what I'm saying? And so,
How long are like Saturn and Jupiter in retrograde?
Yeah, you got Neptune in retrograde, and you got Pluto in retrograde. So you got 4 planets in retrograde now. And so when Neptune's in retrograde, what happens is this. When Neptune's in retrograde, Neptune deals with the dream realm, fantasy, delusion, right? It also deals with lies, deception, or where you may deceive yourself. You see what I'm saying? So when it goes retrograde, you got to do the inner work and say, damn, what the fuck I've been lying to myself about? Or what have I been, feeling like I'm trying to run away from myself? You see what I'm saying? When Pluto's in retrograde, Pluto deals with the psyche, the depths of the psyche. It also deals with control. It also deals with power struggles. It also deals with what you have to transform, right? And so when Pluto is retrograde like it is now, what that means too is that where are you trying to control something that you can't control, that you got to relinquish control from? Because it fucks you up when you keep on trying to control something that you can't, right? And then it also says, hey, where can you allow yourself to develop from the fear? And so you don't fear something no more, where you actually understand real power is when you don't fear it, when you can control yourself, where you can have discipline at, right? All that type of shit. That's how that shit go. You see what I'm saying?
I'm trying to see how that like match up to my like planets, because I got Pluto and Sag. I know there's probably mad people in this live that got that placement too, because they're around my age, most of them.
Right. And so it's about what house is in. But so when you look and see what house is in, you see what I'm saying? Then it'll also highlight that, right? So like it's also about where it's transiting, right? So right now, like when you think of Pluto, Pluto's in Capricorn, right? And it's at 23 degrees Capricorn. So you got Capricorn, if I remember, in your 10th house, right?
Yeah, I got it in Jupiter.
You got Jupiter in Capricorn, and all right, so Pluto is sitting right there in the 10th house also for you, transiting. So when it transits, what that means is that you are redefining, reinventing yourself in for the public arena, for the career, for everything that you're about to be doing in your life, or what you always attain or wanted to attain. And see, you have Jupiter natally there. So it sits over Jupiter and Pluto. So what that means is that this is where your blessings is when you do the transformations, when you do the inner psychological work that is going to allow you to be able to go to the next level. You see what I'm saying? For the public arena where you are going to be at in career-wise, where people can see you redefining yourself, or so like you go through those periods, because remember, Pluto is death, and it's also regeneration. So it's like, if you be like, hey, I'm reinventing myself for the public eye, this is what that means. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like you see that whole process of what you're going through, that's what it is. So Pluto is in your 10th house. And that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with, what can I go to the next level with? And remember, with Pluto, it can only transform out of love. So that's why you are in the position of doing what you love and realizing that your natal Jupiter is there also. So that's why you're like, okay, this is what I love to do. Okay, how do I redefine and reinvent myself to go to the next level?
it's accurate right now too, because I'm
You
like
see?
at the decision where I'm just be thinking about. I'm like, should I do this? Should I not? It's like a big risk.
See? You see? That's the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pluto deals also with manipulation. It deals with fear of the unconscious. So you have to be able to show yourself to have high levels of discipline and willpower because you got the strength to do it. That's why you got Jupiter sitting right on Jupiter. That's where your faith is. That's where your beliefs and also the gifts that you brought with you from your past life. That's earned. That's for you. Like that's the thing. Where Jupiter is in your chart, you rightfully earned that. You see what I'm saying? So ain't nobody can take that shit away from you because that's in you. Nobody can't take none of that shit from you. Nobody can't tell you what it is. That's what it is for you. You know what I mean? That
Mm-hmm.
shit is fuck, man. You know what I mean? And then like when you think about the leveling up when you started doing psychedelics and shit, you see, it's,
Definitely.
it's funny how psychedelics and Pluto is psychological. That's you going to the depths of your subconscious and your mind. You see what I'm saying? Your psyche.
Mm-hmm.
That's how powerful psychedelics is. So you see how all that shit play. Everything is everything, bro. On the occult level, all this shit is that real, bro.
Yeah, I'm seeing that everything aligning.
And see, like somebody in the chat said, it was like I'm seeing synchronicity in these numbers. Yeah, when you see numbers, that means that you got to understand we're in a fucking matrix. We're in a simulation. We're in a high level simulation that when you start seeing numbers and certain numbers start seeing things or you start seeing them, those are frequencies that are just codified in a number. And so when you do your research and realize what they are, then you also think about what you was thinking about when you seen them numbers. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
makes you it's making you become more aware of your thoughts because it ain't no coincidence that you just happen to see those numbers all the time. When motherfuckers be like, oh, I keep seeing this number, I keep seeing that number. Well, think about what the fuck you was thinking about when you seen that number. That means that you have to tap into your motherfucking psyche, your brain, because everything is interfacing with you in this motherfucking matrix. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That shit is gangster as fuck, bro.
It's a lot I still got to learn. They gotta definitely do like readings with you. If they don't know what we talking about, like we talking about like astrology and how it is
Yeah,
tuning and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how it works. Motherfuckers are having to learn this. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday because what it is that everybody on different paths, so they don't understand shit yet. You see what I'm saying? When
Mm-hmm.
motherfuckers don't understand shit, what happens is that they also run away from it because if you run away from something, that means you're scared of it because you can't control it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what a motherfucker can't control, they fear it, especially if they don't understand it. Because in order for you to understand something, that means that you have to have taken enough time to acknowledge it, to understand what it is that you're seeing, which means that you had to have a certain amount of love. Because you can't love something you don't understand. But the thing about it is you could only understand it through taking time to just not even try to control something, but just observing what it is and just appreciating what it is for what it is. You know what I mean? But it's some deep ass shit, bro. It's some deep ass shit, man. I
It
see
is.
motherfuckers in the comment. I see motherfuckers in the, they jumping in shit. Anybody got questions on any of this shit, man? We talking all about this metaphysical shit, occult shit, you know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know, but I deal with astrology, all that shit. I'm a professional astrologer, all this shit. So motherfuckers be wanting to get readings and shit, but they don't be knowing what's up. They don't be knowing nothing more than their sun sign.
Yeah,
But you
y'all
more than
better you ever hit Patah because he know what he talking about.
real shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, what you got going, man? What you got going?
I just been chilling, like what you been saying about my placements, like
Mm-hmm.
the Jupiter and retrograde, and I got it like Capricorn, like think about making this business move, but with the beats,
Mm-hmm.
but like I just really don't know though, cause like I'm in a situation where I know the possibility, but then I'm like it might not have that outcome though,
And see,
and I'm
that's the
just like
thing.
I'm trying to meditate on that and stuff. I'm like,
That's what everybody's dealing with. And see, the thing is, you got to be able to take risks. That's why right now, Jupiter, that's what I'm telling you. Jupiter is what you value, where you got faith in. That's where your Pluto is transiting right now, retrograde too, is letting you know, hey, you got to be able to have faith in yourself. Everybody battle with that because that next level of success is something that you can't control because you don't know. But you got to have faith to just take the risk. If you're doing what you love, then it don't matter. Because you get back to the grind at another point in time, you'll be like, all right, well, back to the drawing board. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
But that's how that shit go, man. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, what's up, Shad? I see you jumping in the motherfucker. Your hood astrologist is one of my homies right there, too. You know what I'm saying?
I think I watched one of her YouTube videos. That's lit.
Yeah, that's the homie. You know what I mean? And so what happens is when a motherfucker taps into their Jupiter, right? Like I said, when it's retrograde right now, what that means is that you have to go within yourself and stand alone on yourself. Like, it ain't nobody gonna hold your hand. Nobody gonna tell you none of that shit. You have to have that faith. That's why Jupiter is being able to have that faith in yourself, right? Because remember, where you got Jupiter is in the 10th house. That means you earned that spot. You earned those gifts that you brought with you. You know what I'm saying? Those your gifts. Ain't nobody can take that shit from you. So all you are able to do is what? Level it up. Have more faith in yourself to go to the next level. Simple and plain. You know what I'm saying? And when you do that, you reward yourself.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to take that next level, but I'm just not trying to get myself in a situation that's like I can't get out of.
Right. And see, that's
like I know like the talent is there, but it's like
talking about with the contract wise.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
And so guess what? That's one of the hardest parts to think about, but it's two ways you can look at it. Everything is going to be a transaction of business at some point. But at the same time, if you got value in yourself and you feel like that's not the move you want to make, then what's going to happen is this. The flip side of that is going to be where you're going to have to go even harder. And so that means, do you want to dig that deep to go that hard for what you really want? Or is this a possibility that you feel like, well, if I go this route, this will help too. But then I could kind of relax, so I can kind of probably feel like I don't got to, you know what I mean? But then you'll have something to deal with that too. That's the way the Matrix works.
Oh, my
that shit crazy. That shit crazy. And so that's the choice that you got to make. That's the choice you got to make.
I've been thinking about this choice for like months.
Yeah, that's how it works. The retrograde, that's how this shit works.
How long did retrograde been? How long when did it start?
Well, all the planets go retrograde at different times because every planet moves at a different speed. And so that's how this shit works. You see what I'm saying? One planet to get out of retrograde at this time, one planet to get out of retrograde at this time. And it's just when they all go retrograde, that's when everything is like, yo, everything is at a standstill. Because remember, this shit ain't just about you. It's the whole world in retrograde. The whole planet in retrograde. You see? Like all that shit. So everybody got this work to do. That's why everything that's going on in the world at this time is always going to be the most weirdest shit. And when you look at when all those planets go retrograde, everything kind of goes to a standstill almost. It's almost like shit that can't seem so real is real. And shit that doesn't seem like, you're like, what the fuck? But that's because shadows, that's the shadow side. Retrograde means rewind, rethink, redo, regrow. You see what I'm saying? All that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
It's adding up. How'd the book come in?
Man, we working on it, man. But you know, I put it to the side for a second. Not like it's not done. It's done because I don't have to do nothing but just put it all together and channel it. It's all in my mind already. But the thing about it is, you know, I'm on this music shit going hard because I got to tap into that realm was what's going on with that. I got a lot of opportunities and shit going on. So writing a book is different than writing music. You tap into a different part of your brain. You see what I'm saying? Music is right brain. Typing and putting a book together is left brain. Even though it's both because you're creating something, but you having to channel that into structured words. Music is something that's abstract. You know what I mean? That you don't like. The book is written in my mind, but the songs is songs that ain't even thought of yet. But you have to be in a certain mindset to catch those plays and those frequencies. You know what I'm saying? That's how that shit work, man. But other than that, man, it's going good, man. And we about to take it to the next level. Once I get this little project, I'm gonna give somebody a project. I'm gonna start getting back to dropping content because that's another thing. I haven't even dropped content like that because it's a different part of your brain that you use. I can try to do both of them at the same time, but I like to be really devoted to that energy when I do it. You know what I mean? Because I like to be able to get all in the bag when I'm doing it. You know what I mean?
Is that Virgo energy?
Hell yeah. I see you shouting in this bitch. Yeah, what's up, shouty? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, man, but that's what it is, man. I know a lot of motherfuckers probably like, damn, I don't know what, like, it's over motherfuckers' hands, but we getting them. You know what I'm saying? They fucking with
Yeah.
it. Because I know people fuck with it. People just got to do their research. They got to go on that path. You know what I mean? But yeah, we going to do more lives, my boy. You know what I'm saying? we
Definitely.
going to do more lives, man. I see Shotty
They
in here.
gotta they gotta
Mm-hmm.
hit you up, like, because you kind of helped me start with like my spiritual path as well. Like just getting that reading. I first like saw your YouTube videos,
Right,
then I got into astrology, and then it just went up from there.
right. That's how it
And I
works.
know I know most of my followers, cause I've been quiet on Instagram. They don't know what's going on with me, and
Right,
they
right.
yo used to working with A Boogie and stuff, and I'm just like nah, like they just think I stopped, but I'm over here trying to put plays together to.
Exactly. That's what I mean when I say you got Pluto sitting there. That means you're in. See, Pluto is also going deep within, transforming. So you're in the cocoon right now. People don't get that. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
how it works. Because remember, Pluto is transiting your 10th house in your public sector, your career sector. So people are like, where's he at? What are he doing? They don't know. But you're turning from the caterpillar to the butterfly. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
thought
that's how it works. You know what I
my
mean?
Pluto's in Sag. Don't that mean the ninth though?
Yeah, but it's transiting your 10th house because it's in Capricorn. You see what I'm
Oh, so
saying? That's
okay.
why you're going through this public. That's why I'm telling you, your Jupiter is there and Pluto's sitting there because that's where your blessings are. That's where your talents and your spiritual gifts are. That's why you're going through this whole process and trying to weigh the options of what you value and all of these things. That's why you have to go deep within. That's what this is.
So
You know
I
what I'm
should
saying?
just meditate more, like calm my mind and stuff.
And really tap into, like I said, Jupiter is all about faith. What you got faith in yourself about? You already show yourself to be where you at. So now you go to the next level. You know what I'm saying? You go to the next level. You know what I mean? But that's how the shit go, man. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna chop it up more, man. Motherfuckers is, yeah, we gonna chop it up more about it, man. Cause I know motherfuckers jumping in, they just like they don't know what's up, but yeah.
Yeah, we should definitely do this more because then they'll start understanding and stuff.
And motherfuckers say, just smoke a blunt, don't listen to this guy. Hey yo, the funny thing is, motherfuckers to say smoke a blunt, right? But the shit we talking about is next level shit. And that is the indicative of somebody who is scared to get out their comfort zone. And the reason why that is because, yeah, you can smoke a blunt. Everybody smoke, nigga. But how many motherfuckers is able to say, hey, I can goddamn boss up and say I'm going to do some psychedelics to go to the next level spiritually? You see what I'm saying? The
Mm-hmm.
weed is good. Yeah, weed is psychoactive, nigga. But weed ain't psychedelic. See, weed is psychoactive. But weed ain't psychedelic. And see, that's
Tell
when you
them.
talk about the next level. And you see, you saying you want to try DMT, but you saying don't listen to this guy. You talking to a nigga who do DMT. You see what I'm saying? You talking to a nigga who do all this shit. And so,
You the man.
you see what I'm saying? So when you talking to somebody like me, remember, I done did this shit. You say you wish you had time to try psychedelics one time. No, you got time. The same way you got time here, you could be tripping. But see, my whole point to that is I'm telling you, you got to have balls to go to the levels that we're talking about. So that's what I mean when the motherfuckers say, don't listen to this guy. Nah, I'm a trolling ass nigga too, so I'm petty as fuck, but I'm so intellectual because I got balls to do what I'm here to do. I'm an occultist. So truth is stranger than fiction. So you got motherfuckers who say, I want to try DMT, but you talking to somebody who have, and when I tell you, when you deal with motherfucking psychedelics, you got to be able to understand that it ain't no coming back once you go to that door. You see what I'm saying? Satanism ain't nothing but Saturn, my nigga. Saturn is Satan. That's discipline. That's restrictions. Those are the things that give you the test to see if you're ready to go to the next level. You know what I'm saying? What other psychedelics have you tried? I tried Jemson weed. I tried wormwood. I tried peyote once. And mushrooms is pretty much that, and DMT. You know, let's see. I see everybody jumping in now. Satanism is a no-no. We don't do that shit over here. But Satanism ain't even nothing. It's a program. See, when people say something like Satan, all they're thinking of is, you got to remember, we're in a Christian nation. So religion is politics. So when people think religion, they thinking in a certain modality. So when people hear Satan, people think Satan, but you got to understand the way the universe is set up is that when somebody say Satan, think about it. Somebody cannot even be a Christian, right? But then you
Mm-hmm.
hear Satan, and then they'll be like, "Well, we don't do Satan," but you're not a Christian. So if you're not a Christian, it don't matter because why? That's a modality. That's a template that a Christian ideology, which is political, to rule the masses, uses. See, if you say that in India, they would be like, "Nigga, ain't no Satan over here." You know what I'm saying? Nigga, we got Krishna, nigga. We got motherfucking goddamn Shakti. We got everything that's totally different. You know what I'm saying? And that's because they have a different template the way they think. You know what I mean? So it's not real. But what is real is the way that everything is codified. You see what I'm saying? And what's codified is being able to understand that everything is a code. Words are spells. So Saturn is Satan. You see what I'm saying? That's
Mm-hmm.
darkness. That's blackness. Saturn is Capricorn. Capricorn is black. Capricorn is old. You see what I'm saying? Capricorn is discipline. So Saturn tests Jesus. Satan tests Jesus. He's opposing Jesus. Why? Because he's testing Jesus' faith. He's testing Jesus in every way that see if he really about what he say he about. So it ain't bad, but guess what? It only seems bad when a motherfucker is taking it personal. Because remember, everything is personal to somebody. Other than that, it's the detachment. And what that means is that if it doesn't feel relative to you, then it doesn't matter to you, right? Until it matters to you, right?
Yeah.
And then it's personal. And so when something becomes personal to somebody, it's either becoming good or bad. That's the way they look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's either good or bad. But the reality on the occult level, it ain't no good or bad on the occult level. But religion and the levels that you have to grow through with your mind, you start off thinking things are good or bad. You start off thinking things from a morality standpoint, right? Then when you go to high levels, this is where the responsibility of you being you, where nobody holds your hand no more. So Satan and Saturn, nobody's going to hold your hand no more. So you can do what you want to do because you got free will, right? That's what, if we think of it in the context of how Christianity in this nation that we live in, people think from a Christian mindset, whether they are not or they are practicing the religion until they scrub their brain and go to those levels that, which is what we're talking about, psychedelics and all this shit. Once you go through these levels, you start to reformat your brain because the way your brain is set up is why religion is a political thing. Spirituality is different from religion. See, when you deal with spirituality, you're not dealing with morality no more. You're dealing with cause and effect. You see what I'm saying? Because now
Mm-hmm.
when you deal with cause and effect, you're using a different part of your brain. And that part of your brain requires you to be a grown-up. Because the way everything is set up in this universe, the motherfuckers who want to control the masses want you to stay docile and dormant with your consciousness, which means that no matter how old you get, you still have the mindset of a 8th grade reading and reasoning level, the way you process things. So you become an automaton. What that means is that you're good enough and smart enough to go to work, pay your bills, try to stay out of trouble, do this, and follow the rules that they tell you. But the reality is when you deal with spirituality, a motherfucker can't tell you what your rules is, but you can deal with cause and effect because you can play the game how you want because it's a matrix. Everything is political because it's about power. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I see everybody in the motherfucker. What score the gang in this motherfucker? Yeah.
He trolling.
I'm Sagittarius. What is that? That's your sun sign. You're a Sagittarius, opposite of Gemini. That's why school is ass. Yeah. The thing is this, school is a 12-step brainwash camp. It's a program. And what that means is that if you sit back and if you think about it, the shit that they teach you in school does not prepare you for the real world because the real world ain't based off of what's going on in school. It's a daycare to get you to grow up enough to feel like you're doing something. So when you get older, you can either do two things, become a fucking slave to the matrix and work for a corporation, which is political. Because everything is politics. So you pretty much go through a funnel and a pipeline. This is why they try to shut you down with your spirituality. That's why religion shuts you down spiritually. Why? Because if you deal with religion, you're not thinking outside of the capacity of what you could think because you don't want to go out and test the new barriers. You don't want to go and try something new because you're scared. It's a fear. It's a fear mechanism in that construct of religion, which is political. So you don't go outside of these boundaries. So when you don't go outside of those boundaries, you never get to expand your brain, your mind. You don't experience new things. And when you don't experience new things, your neurons do not connect. So you don't have the capacity to even know and learn more things. You see what I'm saying? And that is why politics is important, because if they can castrate and pretty much keep a boundary on your brain, it don't matter how old you get. You're still operating under a system as a child. You see what I'm saying? And you're operating under fear, because that means you want somebody to hold your hand. Yes, false evidence appearing real. So what that means is that's a spell. So what that means is fear is on the opposite of love, because love means that you understand. Fear is what you don't understand. Now, think about how important this is on the occult level. See, like I said, being an occultist, people will not understand that these are spells. So Huncho said false evidence appears real, and that's what it is, right? But check this out. When you start to understand what fear is, you got to liken it to when you sleeping in the room, right? And so this is something that everybody can understand, right? You could be in a room, sleep in the dark, and then you might just wake up in the morning, and then you'll wake up in the middle of the night, and you'll see the coat on a goddamn chair on the thing. You might think you're like, what the fuck is it? And then you turn on the light, and you're like, oh, that's my fucking coat. You know what I'm saying? And then you're like, whoo. But that's because what was dark, you could not see. But then when you turn the light on, you could see, because you enlighten yourself. So you were able to enlighten yourself through going through the process of having to know something. See, you got to have more hunger to want to know something than to be scared of it, the possibility of what you don't know. But this is the thing that comes with it. This is why it's all about, you have to be able to be accountable for yourself, which is why you have to be so bossed up and ready to go to the next level, is because truth can scare the fuck out of you when you initially get hit with some truth that you were not ready for, you didn't want to know, or you learn something about something that you didn't think was going to be that, because you're having to always unlearn and reprogram your brain. So sometimes the truth scare the fuck out of people, because what? Truth is stranger than fiction. Why? Because we are in a simulation in the Matrix program here. And this is why they don't want you to deal with psychedelics and all this shit. Why? Because when you deal with psychedelics prepares you for death. And you die when you do psychedelics, because once you open up that door, you don't go back the same. Why? Because now you're thrown into a realm in a dimension where the brain really operates from, which is when you're on psychedelics, it ain't like weed where you can motherfucking eat a goddamn burger and fries and be like, all right, I'm too high, I'm gonna come down. Let me eat this burger and fries, come down. You know what I'm saying? And now, when you're on psychedelics, my nigga, once you got them taking them, you are on a trip. You see what I'm saying? You are gone. And you are on a mission, on a journey. You see what I'm saying? So that's how this shit works. So when you deal with psychedelics, you are dead at the moment, because you cannot control what you thought you was going to control. And you are seeing things that you never thought you would see. And you're experiencing things that you never experienced in your life. Right? And so what that means is that when you come back, you realize that you were in a different state of consciousness. You were in a different dimension. Which means that it's the same as when you go to sleep at night. When you go to sleep at night, that is the symbol of you dying every day and waking up and you becoming alive again, because we're avatars. So that means that you never die. Because why? The universe is all mental. Everything is mental. The body is just a vessel. You see what I'm saying? So what that means is that when you know you never die, and you know that you never have to worry about dying, what is fear? So if you never die, why the fuck not take risks? You can play within the parameters for self-preservation moments, and when you want to do something on the chessboard, like, okay, well, I'm not going to take that risk because this is that. That's cause and effect. Now you're good. But it's not operating for morality. So you're not making choices on, is this good or bad? You make choices on cause and effect. But the reality of it is that cause and effect are the same thing. The same way in this whole dimension, everything is duality. You see what I'm saying? Life is death. Death is life. Good is bad. Bad is good. And this is the hardest thing for motherfuckers to understand and really rationalize. It seems good in theory until you have to experience it. And I mean that in the literal sense. It goes over people's head, and this is the hardest thing for people to understand because everything is personal to somebody. But you are not your body. You are nothing but a collective consciousness. So there has to be a level of detachment that comes once you understand, which is there's nothing bad here and there's nothing good here. It is what it is. So it only becomes good or bad to you when you take it personal. And so that, and I'm talking about in the, this is why the occult knowledge ain't for the masses. This is why they
Yeah.
keep it secret, because people ain't ready to even attack that. And I'm saying that in a literal sense.
That was in that book, The Four Agreements. Don't take it personal.
The reason why you can't take it personal is because there's nothing bad here. What looks like it's bad, it's a series of events that happen and never happen at the same time. Because if you deal with morality, then you're going to think morally. Oh, that's good or bad. But remember, when you deal with the higher levels, you're dealing with cause and effect. And that's a different whole gambit.
Yeah.
Like, if you can understand, there ain't nothing bad here. And there's nothing good here. It just is. So what seems bad, this is what it is. It's like, okay, everybody was rioting a couple weeks ago because they were reacting to how they felt. It became personal to a lot of people based on what they felt was personal. It's not insensitive to be like, I don't give a fuck. But what it is that you have to understand that shit ain't real, but you got to understand why. Because the way the universe is set up, you incarnate based on your desires, but at the same time, the way the dimensions are set up is that you believe you are your body, because that's the ego. You believe you are your body. You believe you are this. You're not. So the longer you believe you are this, you will stay here. But it's not that it's bad. But what it is this. You reincarnate based on your desires. But the thing is this. What you desire, you don't love. And what you love, you don't desire. Now, think about how crazy that sounds.
We'll say it again.
What you love, you don't desire. And what you desire, you don't love. Now, peep how that means. Because when you desire something, you don't love it. But it's not, you don't love it and it's not good to you or whatever. It's just that you don't love it, which means that to really love something, you have to have a detachment to it. You have to have a level of detachment to it because you understand what it is, but it doesn't mean nothing. You don't cherish it, you know, possessions in the way of it. You possess that because you don't own that, because you don't even own your body. And this is hard to rationalize on a lot of levels. Why? Because in this dimension, glamour is what gravity really is. See, glamour is code word for gravity as well, because glamour is what makes things look good. This is why the time seems to be slow, but there is no time. It's the past, present, and the future, and then you are only able to move through it through your mind. So what happens is this: gravity slows things down. You see what I'm saying? Gravity slows things down, which means that when we think about something that we're attracted to, right? Or we desire, right? So think about, like, let's say a nigga like hot wings, right? You like to eat hot wings, right? That's what you like. If you had to eat hot wings every day for the rest of your life, you ain't gonna love it like you thought you did when you get to desire it when you want it. Like, oh, those hot wings was good today. Yeah, that's because you ain't got to eat them every day. So it's not necessarily that you don't love it or that you love it. It's just that you got the desire to have hot wings on this day and it hits and you go to your favorite spot and all that. But if you had to eat it every day, you would be like, damn, I thought I desired hot wings. I thought I loved them. No. When you can say, I love hot wings, but I don't want them every day, you can detach from it because you understand what it means. When you can process that you don't want it every day. So it's there for you when you want it. But that's when you know you love it, because you can let it be what it is because you appreciate it. But you do not desire it every day. That's why what you desire, you don't love. And what you love, you don't desire. And still, that's the craziest concept to really wrap your mind around when you put that in the context of life.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that.
That's a crazy brain fucking fragment. You know what I mean? Like, that motherfucker blows people. That's how deep that shit is. Because you're here to pretty much feel like you're fulfilling yourself. Because the way the universe is set up, it's like, this is like Westworld. You're here to do whatever you want to do. And so what that means is that your desires are all here. Everybody's desires are all here. And we all are desirable to somebody. We all able to do whatever we want, and we are able to fulfill our fantasies while we're here. And once you do it, it is what it is. And so that's why a lot of times where something that you could be like, I thought I wanted that. And then when you get it, you're like, I mean, it's cool, but it didn't. So I remember watching something Dan Blazarian was saying, because the interviewer was asking him, he was like, yo, he's like, yo, you got all this money, you can do whatever you want. He said, look, the reality is that I learned that the simple things ain't got nothing to do with all the shit I used to want. He said, like, yo, once you get every car, you do all that shit, you fuck up, it's just redundant now. So what that means is that he said the same feeling that you feel when you get your first car, when you're a teenager or whatever, you buy your first car, that feeling, he said, it don't matter if it was a Honda. You have that same feeling when it's a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. It's the same feeling. And it is.
Mm-hmm.
The way the universe is set up, everything is glamour. So everything is codified because that's the way the universe keeps you here. So fruit is fruit, but an apple is totally different from an orange, right? But they have different properties. They different parts of the body of the earth that takes in different minerals and things of that nature. So the variety is what allows you to feel like you got way more options, which you do. So when you have options like that, you can explore more and more you want, right? But the reality is that options are cool, but at the same time, the reason why discipline comes into this on the occult level, and discipline is Saturn, it's a Satan. See, this is why I'm bringing it all full circle so motherfuckers see how deep the occult is.
Mm-hmm.
Saturn is Satan, right? But Saturn is also restrictions, it's also discipline, right? It's also maturity. So what that means is that, let's say you do a fast, right? A food fast. What that is on the occult level is that you are fasting from things that you thought you desired. And you are not letting your body run you. You are mastering the bait. You are mastering your body. Same way with NoFap. If you can say, hey, I love pussy, I love the fuck all the time, but hey, the sexual organs and the sexual energy and your hunger and horniness are indicative of the same thing because it's from the body. So once you can master the body, what happens is that you start to detach from it. You understand it, but it does not run you no more. It does not run you. So the practice of being able to be disciplined is what allows you to detach. Doesn't mean you don't love it. You detach because you do love it, but you show yourself to have more discipline for yourself and love. So what that means is that, you see what I'm saying? So what that means is those hardships that you go through allows you to understand that your body is not you. You are not your body. You see what I'm saying? So because you're not your body, you can detach from this motherfucker when you want to detach from it. But it's the hardest thing to do because the way the world is set up through glamour and illusion, everything looks good. Do you get certain things? You're like, man, what I thought it was. So some people don't learn that lesson. They're like, all right, well, let me go to the next thing. Mm-hmm. And so what that means is that when you can have that willpower and discipline, then you can be able to get to a point where you can detach from the shit. So you love it all. It's the same way with hot wings. You're like, yeah, I just don't want it every day. I love it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's power. That's discipline. This is why the way the matrix is set up, sex is rampantly. Everything is pulling at your senses. This is why America is the model for everybody's fantasy and lust and to do what they want to do, their dreams, everything, because it's fantasy is here. It's the portal for everybody to do what they want and be what they want. But then at the same time, they do that because the more that you can drain your own sexual creative energy, you pretty much don't have the willpower to build the world you want to build, because you can build whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. But they don't teach you that. They don't teach you none of that shit in school. They don't teach you no rites of passages, no occult classes, like none of this shit. Why? Because if they drain your sexual energy all the time, they don't teach you how to create with it, then they don't feel like they got to worry about you being a competition for power and political stuff. Because why? You can create what you want here. You can do what you want to do. And a motherfucker can't stop you. They can't stop shit. Because if you know how to tap into your magic and you really want to do that, like if that's what you want to do, then nobody can stop you. But it's
Can you
all
talk
about
more about that? Because I know I got little kids in this, and that probably be draining their sexual energy all the time.
What happened? Say it again.
I said, could you talk more about that? You said like the
Yeah,
sexual energy and draining it, because I know I got like kids or people just my age in general
yeah,
that don't know about that and just be draining themselves.
yeah. So so what it is that your sexual energy is your spiritual energy, and it's the creative energy, all in the same. And so on the occult level, this is something that's going to go over a lot of people's heads until they start to go deeper into it. And this is the thing that means the most. If people take out of this, everything in the universe is sex. Here, everything in the universe is sex. Sex is everything. And what that means is that's creation as well. That's creative energy. That's life. That's death. Because it's called a tiny death. So understand that everything in the universe is sex. And what that means is that the masses have not been educated about this. Why? Because to educate the people on what sex is to educate people on how to have power and how to have creative energy. And so what this means is this as well. When it comes to looking at the way society is set up, sex is free, porn is free, the best of the best porn is free. And if you think about it, right, it plays with your senses, because what happens is that you can look at how, if you think about porn, right, you see
Mm-hmm.
the baddest of the baddest bitches, you be like, damn, you see bitches in real life, but then the baddest because it's glamour. Because why? Porn is Neptune. Neptune is glamour. Neptune is delusion. Neptune is fantasy. Neptune is the spiritual realm. Neptune is the porn industry. It's Hollywood. It's entertainment, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's also poison and it's also medicine, because that's what Neptune is, right? Now, the craziest thing is that when you see, you like, damn, how is all these badass bitches are doing porn? You be like, what? Why would these bitches be? Because everything is sex. It just is what it is, right? But the thing is, the more that you find yourself being like, damn, look at all these bad bitches, and these bitches freaky, everybody freaky. Yeah, because sex is sex. But when you do not educate people on the mysteries of sex, they only think it's the primal energy of sex, to fuck, have kids. You see what I'm saying? To do this, to get off, bust nuts, this and this. And they don't teach you that, hey, yo, you can manifest whatever you want with sex. Why? Because sex is creative and spiritual energy. So you can pull shit down from the spiritual realm and create here. You have the ability to create other things other than babies. So if you think about that, you can create a human through sex, but you could also be educated enough to create anything you want. Because why? If humans create the world that we live in, the structures that we live in, and everything that is the infrastructure of this world, what makes you think that the stuff that you see in this world, did it come from anything else other than the spiritual realm? Because people created things based off of what they thought. Because what happens is that everything in this world mimics something that is really part of the body or nature. You see what I'm saying? A lamp is nothing but an artificial model of the sun, light. It's electricity. You know what I'm saying? An antenna ain't nothing but hair. You see what I'm saying?
True.
Everything is everything. And so when motherfuckers don't understand anything about sex other than just fucking and getting off and damn, this bitch bad, that bitch bad, that keeps you in your lower nature. But the thing is, like I told you, on the occult level, none of this shit bad, none of this shit good. It's just that you got to know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do have sex, you are supposed to go to those primal levels. But you're supposed to go to the primal levels and then go up. And see, this is the where the whole game changes. Why? Because you can create and pull things down and bring it back here. Whatever you want. Now, the flip side to that is this, because you can manifest whatever you want. I do it all the time, but at the same time, people be like, damn, if you can do that and have everything you want, why don't you have this and have that? Because, as I say again, what you love, you don't desire, and what you desire, you don't love. So simplicity is really the key. But the glamour makes you think you want more and more, which is nothing wrong with it, because you can get what you want while you're here. You can have whatever you want. But the thing about it on the occult level is this. What people don't think about is this. When you manifest something, most people are only thinking about what they want. They don't think about what it means to keep it and maintain it and what's going to happen after that. You see what I'm saying? Yes, less is more.
Mm-hmm.
And more is less, right? So that's when they say more or less, more or less. It's because remember, we're in the planet of duality. So everything is everything. But if you want less, I'm telling you from experience, you can manifest whatever you want. Everything I want, I get. But the funny thing about it is when you get it, sometimes it tests you. And then it starts to frustrate you. Like, I don't really want that. That's why desire, you see what I'm saying? It's what you don't love, because you'll be like, damn, once you get it, sometimes you be like, damn. But it's not bad because you own up to it, because why? Cause and effect. It's just what it is. Hey, I manifested this, I got it. It's the same way when motherfuckers got kids. A motherfucker can't tell me shit about kids because I know about kids. I don't gotta have them, but I can tell them straight up what it is. Kids are the hardest thing to motherfucking have. Why? Because it's your consciousness from the future and the past interfacing back with you outside of yourself. So it makes you get on your shit and you have to do things and you have to sacrifice shit, so it frustrates you. So there's a lot of people who will be like, oh, kids is a blessing. Yeah, it's a blessing. But at the same time, if they can be like, hey, if I could take this shit back for real, I would. Why? Because what happens a lot of times is that if you're not focused on your purpose and your spiritual path, you're going to understand that you're going to repeat things here. Because you did not fully fulfill yourself and empty everything out of yourself that you wanted to do while you were here. So you got people who got kids, and when people have kids, they get stressed out and they don't get to follow their dreams. And then you have this gamut of all these things that happen, right? Yeah. Whether it's a mom mad at her daughter because her daughter is pursuing her model career that the mama had to put on hold because she got pregnant because she was not, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. It's just simple things that can happen that just because it's your consciousness interfacing back with you, and you cannot run from that now because you're looking at yourself from another point of view, and it's looking at you because remember, you're supposed to be better than your parents. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be better than your parents. But if your parents are jealous of you, that's because they ain't get to do what the fuck they wanted to do, and they have to deal with that shit. That's true. This is how this shit plays out, because the reality is that it is so deep on the occult, and I can go deep because I'm telling motherfuckers shit is crazy. The shit will blow your mind. If you take this lifetime to do exactly what you want to do while you're here, you don't repeat it, because you do everything you want to do here, because you ain't gonna have no reason to desire to do nothing else, because you're gonna do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Now, remember, ain't nothing good or bad here. What people think is bad, it's good. And what people think is good, it could be bad. It's all if you take it personal. But if you take out the context of you thinking things are personal, then you don't give a fuck. Because why? None of this shit is real anyway, because everything is temporary. Everybody are here to pursue their fantasies and to live and desire to do what they want to do. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you think about, if you watch like interviews and stuff with billionaires and all that type of shit, motherfuckers will be like, I built my dream home. I finally was able to build my dream home. Code word, dream home. Dream. That's their fantasy. That's what they wanted. Mm-hmm. They accomplished things. That's how it works. Now, the flip side of that is they got to keep the upkeep and maintain it, but it is what it is. That's what comes with the territory of everything that you do down here. So it's not good or bad. It's just that, hey, I did that. I got to do that. All right, that's what I want to do. All right, I'm cool. I accomplished what I wanted. I'm cool. Because your whole life is a movie starring you. You see what I'm saying?
I'm glad that you talked
speaking
about
of stars. Star is the sun. Sun is the soul. You know what I'm saying? So that's how all this shit play out. The shit deep as fuck. You know what I mean? Patah lit the way to start off my journey last year on live. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's real shit, man. Just put niggas on game because they don't want motherfuckers to know the truth, man. But the thing about it is the truth is also stranger than fiction. So it'll fuck you up if you are not ready. Because why? Ignorance is bliss. But it is what it is. So you can stay ignorant. It's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with it because it's still fun being ignorant. Yeah. It's fun being ignorant. But at the same time, when you know the truth, you know the truth. And it just is what it is. But truth, you can't flinch from it. It's the hardest thing to accept. But when you do accept it, it's not bad. It just forces you to really be like, damn, that is true. Because we're in a matrix, we're in a simulation. And truth is stranger than fiction. That's why everybody like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Fucking 2020 is like Jumanji. Yeah, because it really is. The matrix cracks because why? The illusion falls away. You know what I'm saying? Too many niggas on the tube making spiritual vids for money. The thing is this, ain't nothing wrong with that either. The reason why ain't nothing wrong with that is because you cannot take it personal. It's nothing moral. You got to understand also on the occult level, appreciation in this realm is shown through currency. Currency is an exchange of energy. Money is nothing but a receipt. That's why when you hear them use terms like fiat currency, yeah, it's not real. It's a receipt, but it washes the transaction. So, for example, I'm a professional astrologer. I charge for readings because I charge for my time. It's not about the information. It's that I charge for my time. And when I charge for my time, I also charge for the business that it is. It's I here to help you, you help me. It's all good. It's not personal. It's nothing. It's just that this is what it is. And it's something that can be honorable when you say, hey, I paid you, so this is what, yes, this is the receipt. You get your reading, and it is what it is. And the thing about it is, it only seems like bullshit when somebody is motherfucking doing what? They jugging on you. They motherfucking scamming on you. Then you can take it personal. You cannot take it personal other way. Why? Because degrees of knowledge is through hierarchy. So you got to do the work. So when somebody say, hey, I went to motherfucking school to be a doctor, you got to pay the doctor, because you can't motherfucking goddamn plug your ass up when you get shot, nigga. You can do what you can do. You can wrap that bitch up, but you be like, look, man, I need you to go grab a scalpel and extractate this. And that nigga know what to do. He be like, hey, it's 2 centimeters from your motherfucking spine. See, you didn't know that. If you would have known it, you would have did this. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, you pay for that information because somebody went through to do something that you didn't do. Why? Because why? We all are here to sacrifice something. That's why we are all desired by somebody. Because we're desired by somebody on all levels. And it is what it is. So it's not, yeah, it's not intentional. It's not personal. But if somebody's scamming you, then yes. So niggas on the YouTube but you got to understand the way it works. I've been conflicted with, this is something that I've been conflicted with. You know how you were talking about how we conflicted with going to the next level? I do all this shit. I know I can go to the next level doing this, charge this, do this, but I don't like to be a slave to my own shit at the same time. So that's the hardest part for me. It ain't about nothing. Everybody want the content and they fuck with me. People fuck with me heavy. It's just about going through, doing what we got to do. And that what comes with it. It levels up because people get an exchange of information. I get this and we all fuck with each other. That's the same thing. So people in this live right now are paying attention. So you're paying for something anyway. It's just not out of money. It's out of your time. So I get money from you because you're listening, but also I'm giving you money. That's why you're listening. You get an exchange for what you paid for, what you wanted. Because guess what? You got 18 people in the thing right now, more, right? There was people dropping in and out, right? The people who are dropping in and out, I'm not selling what they are buying. And it's not personal.
That's
you
true.
know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. Because they'll come back when they want it. So it's the same way as, yo, motherfuckers be like, hey, where you want to eat at? Hey, man, let's go ahead and go to motherfucking goddamn Roof Chris. Man, I ain't in the mood for Roof Chris. You're not selling what they're selling you something and you don't want to buy that. So you say, nah, I ain't with it. Well, we can go to motherfucking here. All right, well, shit. All right, we agree on that. That's currency exchange. So it's the same thing. It ain't no different, and it don't matter. It is what it is.
I got 2 minutes remaining. Want to go back on it?
Huh?
I got 2 minutes remaining on the live.
Oh shit. We can we can do whatever, or we can tap in again. We'll give them some more next week. Let them motherfuckers come back. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go in, and everybody who got questions could come back. We can talk it up. Whatever.
Yeah, follow Patah. Follow him.
Yeah, follow me, because what I'm gonna start doing is going live on mine. You'll come on mine. We'll do this like that.
All right.
You know, so everybody follow your boy. My YouTube page is Guy King TV, and I'm about to drop more content on there on all types of shit. We're gonna go back. We're gonna do this live again too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's get it, man. So tap in with me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Get it. Yeah, you made them stay. All right, y'all. We're gonna keep doing that. So make sure y'all tune in. Y'all have a good day. Be safe. Stay positive. I'm gonna say this live too.